commandos and the fighters of the 4th Corps made Herzegovina the center of courage and Bosnian success.
Nismo znali šta su zolje, ose. Jednostavno kroz rat on nas je dosta naučio svemu. Pa smo tako da smo pružili vrlo jak otpor agresoru koji je bio i nadmoćan i dobro naoružan, ali mislim da nisu imali ono što smo mi imali srce.
Evo javljam ti skupe se, daj mi 212. Odbijno ti kažem.
The liberation of Kupres on November the 3rd, 1994, was important for two reasons: as a serious defeat of the Serb aggressor and as a vow of the BH Republic Army to complete the liberation of the country together with the Croatian Defence Council after the Washington Agreement. The Serb aggressor intended to take over the Bosnian heritage of Gornji Vakov for good. Even changing the name of the town, they wanted to erase everything that was Bosniak and Islamic. Their evil plan was prevented by the 7th Corps troops.
Što se tiče crkvi može da ostane, nama ne smeta, od džami ćemo ako bude napraviti drugu.
Od početka sam govorio da vojska Bosne i Hercegovine mora biti vojska svih naroda i narodnosti. I da u toj armiji Bosne i Hercegovine budu svi ljudi koji misle dobro ovoj Bosni i Hercegovini.
The liberation of Vlašić on March the 2nd, 1995, threw a light of hope and pride on the whole of Bosnia. That glorious victory was a result of common operations led by the 7th and the 3rd Corps. What a great military achievement the Vlašić victory was can be seen from the fact that all foreign experts on commando actions had strongly claimed that the Bosnian army didn't have a slightest chance to defeat the enemy, which had entrenched himself into this rocky landscape. When the Bosnian fleet stepped onto the heights of Vlašić, the naked eye was able to see from an eagle-eye view the spread of freedom all over Bosnian and Herzegovinian horizons. This was only one in a series of acts of heroism of the 7th Muslim Brigade, which was to win many other battles. The President of the BH Presidency and the BH Commander-in-Chief had visited all the front lines during the Liberation War, including those surrounded by the enemy. But the road of the BH Army wasn't filled only with victories. The break of the blockade of Sarajevo, which began on June the 15th, 1995, had involved an enormous number of human resources and technical means. But the courage of the fighters, readiness of all commanders, and the brains of headquarters, and the will of all people together couldn't break through the Chechen positions. The BH army units had seriously defeated the aggressor several times and had liberated a great deal of the territory, but the road to Sarajevo couldn't have been routed without heavy human losses. That's why the operation was cancelled. Only after the NATO air forces had torn apart the Chetnik chain around Sarajevo was it realized how powerful were the forces focused on this capital city. The JNA and the Chetniks had built many bunkers there, concrete trenches, headquarters and linkage systems. They had dug in hundreds of cannons, mortars, tanks, armor vehicles, heavy machine guns, snipers, death sowers. The Sarajevo blockade break must not be remembered only as a failure, because the aggressor was forced to withdraw most of its troops from other front lines to Sarajevo. Thus were made holes in other Chetniks' positions, which were successfully used by the BH army forces to courageously attack from inside. Vozucha, September the 10th, 1995. This victory, beyond any expectation, will stay as a memory on connecting two corps previously separated by enemy positions, the 2nd and the 3rd Corps. At the same time, the industrial resources of Zenica were connected by the nearest traffic communication. The aggressor thought Vozucha to be theirs and unconquerable.
Evo vidite da se nalazimo u Vozuči. Za Vozuču je Karadžić rekao da se ovdje brani Moskva, a ja sam prije 6 mjeseci na to odgovorio tu se ne brani Moskva nego oslobađa Bosna.
Vozucha was the proof of the capability of the BH army and its commanders to perform successful military operations. From commander to fighter, from the headquarters to individual departments, the army is a complex of a functional system of governance and command. Not a single action was unimportant to the army, which is liberating its country and valuing the life of its soldier above all. That's why each action was prepared, even for months, at the headquarters, analyzing every little detail.
Mi smo spasili narod i time nismo dozvolili da agresor ostvari dva svoja krajnja cilja, a cilj četnika je bio prvo uništiti muslimanski narod i sve ono što taj narod čini narodom. I u tom pogledu je težio da to uradi u što kraćem vremenu. Dalje, etnički potpuno očistiti i priključiti sve teritorije Bosne i Hercegovine zamišljenoj velikoj Srbiji. Iako je već bio okupirao Bosnu i Hercegovinu, praktično je zauzeo, nije ostvario svoje ciljeve. Naš narod je i pored brojnih žrtava sačuvan od uništenja. Naš narod je opstao, veliki dio teritorije u našim rukama. Mi smo jedina armija na terenima Bosne i Hercegovine koja ima šanse da se i dalje razvija i da dalje jača.
Within the achievements of Bosnian army, we can also include the contribution of the Air Force and anti-aircraft defense. Let me remind you that more than several thousand wounded persons were transported in 7,000 of their flights across the country, as well as dozens of tons of ammunition, war material and medicines. Under the name Golden Lilies, the Bosnian pilots have also flown to besieged war enclaves of Bihać, Srebrenica, Žepa and Goražde. In Krajina, the 5th Corps had to defend the country at 3 front lines, against Karadžić's Serbs, against Martić's Serbs, and against the traitors of Fikret Abdić. All of them were defeated by the Bosnian forces, a unique mixture of Bosnian spirit, Krajina courage, soldiers' companionship, and commanding talent.
Ličko Petrovo selo je slobodno, ima dosta zarobljenih četnika, zarobljene tehnike i nadam se popodne ili sutra da ćemo se spojiti sa hrvatskom vojskom.
In autumn 1995, in the final act of the war, when the aggressor was brainlessly running away from the 5th Corps units, one could observe a vertical course created by the hearts of Bosnian sons. Bosanski Petrovac, Ključ, Bosanska Krupa, Sanski Most. The liberation of Krajina had shown the capability of the Bosnian army to organize its units at the highest operative level, with a high maneuver quality and an irresistible shock troop power. Within only 15 to 20 hours, the Army and the Internal Affairs Ministry units from all over the country, with 12,000 soldiers, arrived in Krajina in mid-September. Getting into action immediately, they gave enormous support to the 5th Corps and speeded up the offensive against enemy's positions. However, a political imperative had stopped this military unstoppable liberation action of the Bosnian army. The path of glory cleared by the BH Army is edged with battles. If they had never happened, they would have sounded unbelievable even to teachers at military academies. The academic chairs of tactics and operational strategies had taken over the battlefield in Bosnia in the period from 1992 to 1995. The survival of the besieged cities of Sarajevo, Goražde, Mostar, Gornji Vakuf, Maglaj, Tešanj showed an unprecedented energy of the defenders. The tunnel beneath the Sarajevo airport is the triumph of firmness and inventive spirit of an invincible nation. The resistance had obtained its power from the spirit of the truth of its nation. In the period from April 1992 to December 1995, the BH Army broke through many barricades and temptations on the historic main road. In only 44 months, the scattered and homegrown troops of patriots were made a mature army, which knows today how to achieve strategic results with operational planning and tactics while defending its country and freedom.